Hi friends, welcome to this Christmas in July video hop. Thank you to Monica Taylor for putting this together and getting all these amazing card makers together to inspire you with Christmas cards. My name is Carissa. Welcome to my channel, Inky Fairy Designs. Today I created this adorable card using some stamps by Stampin' Bella. I use these two stamps. The first one is Reindeer family and then also Reindeer with a gift. I love this sentiment from our family to yours, and I thought it would be cute to create like all of my kids in this kind of reindeer scene. And so I did a lot of masking. I found that lining up the images, because it is a rubber stamp and not a clear stamp, if I stamp it on acetate, I'm able to kind of line it up and then place my stamp over that. You know, it's not perfect, but it's a general idea of where I know it's going to go. And then I'll remove that acetate. I have my masks down, then I can ink this up, and I know that I'm going to get the stamp in about the right spot that I want. So this was trial and error. This was actually the second time that I had created this little scene with them, and learning that trick with the acetates really helped me figure out the placement. So once I was happy with that, I'm able to remove the masks and reveal how all of the reindeer are situated. And then I can get to coloring. So like I said, I chose this stamp because I have 5 kids, and the one stamp has 4 reindeer in it. And then instead of stamping one again to get the 5th in there, I decided to use that reindeer with a gift, just to add a little bit more character to it, because that one's carrying a little sack with some presents and candy canes in it. So, and I'm just showing you it's super easy to wipe that ink right off of the acetate. Now I can continue to remove the masks, and this is the fun part, revealing the little cluster of characters that I have stamped all together. Now for this coloring, I am using Copic Markers. I actually stamped on the Crafter's Companion coloring paper, which I will have a list of all of the supplies I used in the video in the description box below. And I am using Copic Markers. I think I just said that. But I stamped with the Ink on 3 Blackout ink. That's my favorite ink for coloring, whether I'm using Copic Markers or watercolors. I don't have to have one for one and one for another. I can just use the same ink for both, and it just makes my life a lot easier. I don't have to think about what ink I'm grabbing depending on what medium I want to use. So that's always nice. I have all of the marker caps listed in the upper left hand corner for you. If you want to follow along, write those down. If you see any combinations that you like, you can grab those there. Basically, I had to speed this up a bit, and I am coloring all of the little faces and the little reindeer antlers, and then I'll color one of the reindeer with the brown combination that I use on all 5. And then I will go into the rest of the coloring, so you don't have to sit there and watch me color all of these reindeers the same brown combination 5 times. So when I color light to dark. That's just my preference. I've been coloring for 10 years, and I have always colored light to dark. So I'll start by laying down my lightest color, then I'll move into the medium, and then I'll bring in my darkest color, and then I will blend back out until I'm happy. Usually just 1 or 2 times blending, and I'm happy with the coloring. So for the red, I ended up doing the little reindeer. She's got like a little berry crown on, and then I also do the bows that they're wearing, and of course the candy canes. So this is a really fun image to color. Now when I'm sitting down to color something like this where I have a ton of coloring to do, I like to keep it simple because there's so much to color. I don't want to be overwhelmed by the amount of colors that I'm bringing into the image. So like I said, I did their faces a little bit differently. Between the little tiny reindeers and the larger reindeer. And then for their fur, I use the same brown combination for all of them. I use the same combination on their antlers. And then I just tied in the red and the green combos that I'm using throughout the image, so it's really nice and cohesive. So like I said, keep it simple. If you're trying to color like you want to create a lot of characters on a card background like this, then that's one of my tips. So I added a little bit of shading underneath them to give them some ground to be standing on. My favorite way to kind of finish off my coloring is to just add these little highlight shadow dots around the image in certain areas. It pops them, it pops the coloring, lifts, it kind of gives them a little bit more off the page look. And that's it. So that is all of the coloring for the card. I'm going to add a little bit of detail with a white gel pen. And just kind of highlighting the little, the little white dots on the smaller reindeers. I'll give some freckles on the girly reindeer. So I colored, that's not super noticeable, but I colored 3 of them like little girls because I have 3 girls, and then 2 of them are little boys because I have 2 boys. So it's not super noticeable with the reindeer, but I figure, you can kind of tell which one are the boys and the girls in the image. But I thought it was super fun. It probably took me about an hour to color this entire card, in case I know that's something that a lot of people wonder when you're watching a coloring video that is sped up like I did. And that is just for time purposes. It's so hard to get that real time coloring because I color kind of slow with my Copic markers. So now that that is all completed, I can add the sentiment, and I tried to center it a little bit on the panel above the images. And it's not perfect. Even with a Misty, you guys, I am so not perfect at stamping my sentiments. And I know the Misty is supposed to make it amazing and perfect, but I don't know. They're always crooked anyway. So I think that's the beauty of handmade cards. So I decided it needed something a little bit extra. I pulled out this Wow embossing powder in Unicorn Magic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Ink on 3 clear embossing and Watermark ink, which is a little bit dirty, but it still works. And I'm just going to run that ink pad along the edges of my card. And I'll be honest, this is a technique that I picked up from Christina Werner because she's amazing and I love it. She does it on a lot of her holiday cards whenever she does her Christmas series in November. And it's one thing that I really liked, and it's such a great finishing touch. Kind of makes it a little bit more elegant, a little bit more finished. I love having that frame around it, and it was great, even though it is glitter. And if you guys follow me, or if you're new to my channel, you don't know, I don't usually like glitter, even in embossing powders. That's why I don't really use embossing powders a lot. It's just something about the way that this flies away from you and just ends up everywhere, even though I try to keep it contained on the piece of paper. But somehow I'm still walking around with glitter on me days later. So I'm going to go ahead and clean that up, put the excess back in the bottle, and start to heat set that. I make sure my heat gun is fully hot before I bring it to my paper to help with any of that warping. And I just go along the edges front to back until that embossing powder is completely melted and dry. So now you can see it has got that little sparkly edge, and I think it just finishes the panel very well. I don't like to do a lot of layers or embellishing when I have coloring so much like this. So I picked out a green cardstock, I believe it's from Simon Says Stamp, that matched the green that I colored on the image. And all I'm going to do is I am going to use my tape gun and just adhere that panel flat onto the card, and that is going to be it. So for all the details on the Christmas in July video hop, please visit Monica's blog. There will be a link in the description box below where you can find out all of the details on that, as well as a link to the next person in the hop. You'll want to make sure to stop by everybody's video, check out what they made, get inspired, maybe get an early start on your Christmas cards this year. I know it's always coming down to the last minute for me, and maybe you'll get some great ideas from this hop. I know I will. I am actually going to be giving away a little prize. So if you want a Christmas goodie card making goodie bag, then leave a comment on your favorite Christmas carol, and I will pick a winner at the end of the hop and send it out to you. I just ask that you be US or Canada only, so be sure to let me know where you are located. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and maybe think about subscribing to my channel. Until next time, stay inspired, be creative, and share that with others. Bye.